I also wanted to let you know that I was talking with Carter about things, and he says like he thinks that the shot list is fine as is, and we're gonna go like kind of like because I basically wrote this down as like I wanted to make sure that we were getting like enough coverage as possible for Carter. So when Carter is editing, if he was like, oh, I wish we got that one shot or something like that, we would have it. But for the most part, I did talk to Carter already, and we did say that, like, obviously, we're probably not going to do all of them, but like, as we're going day of, we can like be like, okay, like, actually, this one is kind of redundant. We're just going to take it out.
And you'll definitely notice that day of. Like
Yeah.
that'll be things that are like, oh, we already have this shot.
Yeah.
Like and that totally will happen. And now that we are rescheduling the last two scenes
Hmm.
to a different day, scene seven can have that amount of shots. But it just was with getting scene seven, eight, nine, and 10, I was like, oh, you guys are gonna be doing like a 14, maybe 16-hour day. And I'm like, ooh, that's shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I was previously talking before we were recording, 20 minutes is how I scheduled out each shot for the day. It is roughly the most important thing is that when you're filming, it's all setup time. So about 15 minutes of that should be spent talking lighting setup and blocking for characters. And then you'll use the 5 minutes or whatever's left over to get your actual shot. That is enough to get a few takes in. 20 minutes is roughly around the appropriate time to get through the amount of shots per day. The first day, you only have a very short lunch since you have limited time. You guys are all getting there at like noon, I believe. That's like the aim goal for people to arrive. And in order to be done with that shooting day and wake up and have enough hours of sleep for the next morning shot, yeah, so lunch will be cut drastically. It'll be kind of a working lunch on that first day, but then you'll get your 8 hours of sleep. Day two, you'll start off around 11, and then you should have an hour lunch every other day preceding that. Any other questions about filmmaking, about ADing, anything that you need to be cleared up on that I have laid out here?
So yeah, I guess stationary shots, that's something maybe least worry, more I guess more tracking. Like I should be kind of conscious that that might take a little bit longer than like a stationary shot.
Yes, especially with lighting, you need to basically be prepared to light however long you're tracking. And that could take longer. And it is okay if you do extend or exceed the 20 minutes. You'll just have to make that up in a different shot, one that will hopefully just be like, oh, put a light here and then we'll get it quick. It's never typically that easy, but yeah.
Handheld
Stay
slash whatever.
yeah, yeah. Stationary is good because you know exactly where the camera's going to be and the lighting will just reflect around that. And then it's just like getting it lit.
Are we gonna have a dolly on
I
set?
do not know.
Nat, did you make any progress on that?
Yes. I actually ended up ordering one online just like because like I was like thinking about my options and then also I was researching online for options as well. And I was like, you know what? I found like this one for, X amount of dollars. We'll see how this does. And if we're really liking it, then I'm probably gonna upgrade to like a nicer one or something like that. But just for like the price point, because I was also thinking about like I don't want like Carter to spend like, more money than like I don't know, he has to or something like that because I don't know what our like final like goal was for like raising money or something like that, like what it came out to be, but we do have a dolly. I'm really excited about it. Should be getting here today, I think. So yeah.
That's great, super exciting. You're gonna wanna mess with it obviously before we get up there
Yeah.
because we're likely not gonna have Wi-Fi. I know Carter mentioned something about a hotspot, but just like
Mhm.
if you need a YouTube tutorial or anything, just like bring the manual and try to futz with it ahead of time. And
Exactly.
I spoke to George like 2 days ago about lighting stuff. He still needs to talk to Sam about rentals, but I know he is trying to get a Mamba, like a big arm, for some of those exterior camping
Yeah.
shots. It's just a
Yeah.
matter of transporting, so you'll have to talk to him about what he's able to wrangle in the
Yeah.
next couple days.
Otherwise, I mean, it's probably not what he has been like wanting or thinking, but I do have like some like LED, like some small LED lights that if we need, like I can bring them along just in case for backup. Because I'm thinking maybe, like kind of shitty light, not shitty light, like LED lights is better than nothing, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you guys remind me what a static shot is?
It is just like, it's just gonna be stationary. There's gonna be like no movement.
Okay.
Um, it's like set it on a tripod, let it stay. There's no movement, it's just standing still.
Okay, sweet.
Am I correct in saying that there aren't any lens changes? We're just doing one
Yeah.
camera.
So basically, the camera that we're using has like a zoom lens and it's a fixed lens because we are using Carter's like I believe it's a Panasonic. Yeah, it's Panasonic. It's kind of like this documentary like camera. So there's no lens changes. If anything, like, we're just gonna mess with like how it looks kind of a thing.
Nat, did you want to go over any of your lingo on here? Like what a Scooby-Doo looking shot
Oh,
is?
yeah, so Scooby-Doo, let's see if I can quickly like look something up. It basically is like, when they're copy image, go to chat, paste. It's like when they're in the car at the beginning of the episode and like they're just like straight on.
Okay, yeah, I see that.
Yeah. Anything else or let's see. If you have any questions about anything. Yeah.
There's another one, I'm looking for it right now.
Yeah.
The flashing lights, the light in the beginning of this is 64 on the Excel sheet. I think
Okay.
you had a reference to something that I didn't know what that was.
I still need to share this spreadsheet with Nat.
Okay,
Yeah.
am I sharing the wrong one?
No, you're sharing the correct one. I just need Nat's email.
Oh,
Oh. Oh, are you talking about flashing lights? Light in the beginning of the it's
Shot
always in
one, yeah.
Philadelphia Marine Ponderosa Wedding Massacre.
yeah, I don't know what the hell that is.
Okay. This was just like a fun thing that I thought we could do like in the beginning. It's very niche. Basically like I was hoping we could get some kind of like strobe lighting or something like that because it's like I wanted to do like a reference to the opening of that episode, but if it's too much, we don't have to do it. Basically, it's kind of, let me go back to the script. I believe it was like kind of like in the beginning we see like a banana get dropped or something like that. I thought it would be like fun to do that. I think it was more of like something I was thinking about and I just wrote it down, but like it's like, oh, maybe we could do this, but if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
No, that's great. It's just I want to make sure that like Vive understands and like George
Oh, okay.
gets what this is before we're up there because we don't want to waste time explaining what it is if we all are on the same page ahead of time.
Okay. Yeah. What else? What else?
So there was something that wasn't decided or filled in yet. And that is scene 7N. Exterior, of course. It's from Pharaoh's face, and he says, "Now say your prayers."
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah, scene 7. Okay. Okay, so it was like this one is taking inspiration from anime, but basically like how I want it to look is that we start up an extreme close up like kind of on his face with like now say your prayers, and then we kind of like will then pull back the camera tracking focus along until we get to kind of like the thing of the barrel, kind of like right there.
I apologize I didn't have this already shared with you, Nat, but I did just send you the link to the one that I have with it all like scheduled out with times now. So you're able to see that too if you would like.
Woohoo! Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see.
at least we don't have to do any lenses changes.
Yeah.
That will save on time.
I'm still ready to be the most hated person on set. I'm ready. I just
No,
gotta
no,
get a little bit thicker skin.
Yeah, also I'm
the
so
most
sorry. This
valued.
was probably like really hard to like read and like decipher. I really wasn't expecting anybody else except for like me and Carter to like be looking at the like shot. Well, obviously other people, but like I was like, "Oh my gosh, I have to explain what this is," because like I don't know, sometimes I write notes in the margin to like for myself to be like, "Okay, yes, this is what I was talking about." Okay, but yeah. But yeah, so basically I want it to be where we start off like extreme close up, bring the camera back while also maintaining focus, and then we like kind of travel down the arm till we get to like the like barrel of the gun.
Okay, so so you said that for 7N, that's gonna be a dolly zoom out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there any other ones?
I guess for just wait, I do have one other question just to clarify.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is gonna be scene 6,
Uh-huh.
3 3B, mid shot. It says static 2 shot/3.
Oh, okay. So I was just curious how like the whole setup was gonna be. But like basically, so like a two shot meaning like it just depends who's like going to be in the shot. So if I wanted to be
People.
like okay, we're focusing on Dina primarily, but maybe there might be like another person like the in the scene.
Okay.
Like or maybe like we'll also get like a third person who's just like also like on camera kind of a thing.
Do we have any over the shoulders?
I think for some of like the reaction shots, shot, reverse shot kind of a thing. So I think maybe like, yeah.
Nat, what is a helpful communication style for you with having an AD? What's the best way to let you know that, like, hey, we need to speed things up, or some things might need to be changed around?
I mean, like usually like time checks are like a good thing to do kind of a thing, being like, hey, just so you know, like time check, we got 5 minutes or something like that. But usually kind of how I've, in the past like have, dealt being like DP on sets and stuff like that is usually we like, we'll like the AD will say that we have like X amount of time. It's like, okay, I'm gonna get set up. I try mostly to communicate with like people that I'm working with, to be like, okay, here's what I'm thinking, and then I check with like the director to make sure this is like something that they like wanted, kind of a thing. And usually the director will tell me like straight on, being like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and we're all here to support your creative vision and our collective creative vision. I love your cool shots, and I'm just here to make sure that we all know what it means and we can get to it effectively.
Mm-hmm.
A good
Yeah.
thing for you to keep in mind, Vive, is really giving those like subtle reminders of being like, all right, we're at the 15-minute mark of this shot. So then that's when you would go tell Nat, say, Nat, we're at 15 minutes of setup time. And also George, we need to get this down for blocking. And then that's when Nat and George will have to be done zhizhing, as Spencer Ortega would say. And then you go to Carter at that point and say, Carter, it is now time to get the shot off. So now we're just going to be going right into the shot.
So
Usually,
for the
yeah,
sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. So for when I do the reminders, is to go to the DP and lighting, talk to them first, and then talk to Carter.
typically that's how I usually do things. I go around the 10 to 15-minute mark. I'm like going in and checking in first, saying, hey, how are we doing? It's a more polite way to just get a range on how everyone's workflow is going. And it doesn't come off as, hey, we need to, you're not the bad guy when you're just checking in.
Yeah.
So you go in, you politely say like, hey, how's it going? We're around 10 minutes or around 15 minutes. What do you need to get this done? They'll communicate with whatever is needed to be done, and then you can determine whether or not that's going to be viable for the current scheduled time. If they say, hey, I really need 10 more minutes, you can look at your watch, say, all right, we were really quick on the last shot, so you have 10 minutes to actually get this set up because we'll just eat up that other time that we already saved. Or It's all about judgment calls, but there will be a point where you just go over to Carter, who is the acting director, and just be like, all right, it's time for our shot. Let's get everybody rolling here.
Okay, then go to Carter.
And our PA Greg, who I don't know, it's a friend of Carter's. He's gonna help with the meal prep, and because signal's really spotty, we do have walkie-talkies. So while he's prepping stuff in the cabin, just checking in with him and being like, "Hey, this is the time that we have for food. How's everything going?" And hopefully he'll communicate back with you and let you know that everything's on track.
Okay.
Otherwise, at least for the first 2 days, we should have runners
I also
available.
have extra walkie-talkies.
Okay. At least for the first 2 days, we should have runners available with Lou and Zia because none of our makeup is starting until day 3.
Oh, okay, sweet. I'm gonna write that down. So it's actually awesome. Lou and Z are runners. Sweet. Oh, I wish that George was on this call.
I asked him to be, but he still needs more of a plan firmed up with Sam.
Oh, okay. Do you want me to like contact them both to see if we could possibly do a meeting
Yeah, I would
before?
love that.
Here, I'll text them right now.
Yeah, the more communication, the better, especially when communication may be stilted up there given the
The
signal
circumstance.
issues.
Yeah. Then I know, and I know that especially with lighting too, that's a whole different beast. Like, kudos to George and Sam for understanding it. It seems to me it's just like another language.
Lighting is what will eat up like probably 80% of production time. That's usually how it all goes.
Nat, do you know what equipment we're gonna be using for lighting or what equipment we have?
Um, I guess 100 transparency, and maybe it was more like maybe okay. I'm so sorry if this was supposed to be one of my like responsibilities, but I assumed that like George was going to be getting like his own equipment for this, and that I was focusing on like more like camera like the shot list and like the camera stuff.
That's a correct assumption.
Okay.
And
Oh,
I
yeah, I
know
was just wondering if you
George,
knew.
yeah, you're
Okay.
good. It's just, yeah, we need to loop him in. I know
Yeah.
has a friend who works at a rental shop, and seeing what kind of strings he can pull for that. So that's a bigger conversation that needs to happen about
Okay, because
inventory
I'm
and
like,
stuff.
oh my God.
No,
Like
no, you're good.
I thought I was gonna be falling behind with like getting like camera like equipment stuff or whatever. And so, oh my God, I'm so sorry guys. My life has been so hectic these past couple of months. I've been really trying to like keep on top of like everything with all my projects. And so like I'm sorry if like I'm falling through with this one and such. And like I just want to make sure we have like a really good time like on
No,
set
yeah,
that like it runs so smoothly.
you're doing great. I was just wondering if you just knew it on the top of your head.
Oh,
I also would assume that that would be George's responsibility.
yeah, I think you would have to ask George for that. If George like is in need of like different like lights and stuff like that, I do have like 3 LED lights and then 2 lights that are like I don't know the proper term for it, but like they could be usable. They're like just like kind of like these solid like lights that do not change in color, temperature, or brightness. So if we need to use like any of those, I have those. I don't have like a bounce. I don't have like flags or anything like that. But I have those items if they're like gonna be usable.
Yeah, more the merrier is great. Yeah, I would just check in with him and let him know what you have, and see what he's able to get in these next couple days.
Yeah.
We do have like less than 10 minutes left in this meeting. I don't know if you have any other questions before we head up there.
I mean, I'm mostly just like really excited about it. Um, Again, I'm sorry if my like shot list was like really difficult to read and stuff.
It's not. You're good. You're
Okay,
good.
okay.
It
sorry.
wasn't difficult to read. I only just formatted the numbers to it to make it easier for Carter to edit later. Because
Okay.
when you have it just in order like this on a slate, Carter can just like look at the first frame of each shot and just know exactly which one it's going to.
Yeah.
I do have, sorry, this is, I guess, this is more of like, am I sounding rude? I'm not trying to sound rude. So I'm gonna be messaging in the group chat like, "Good morning!" Exclamation point. Do we have an equipment list for lighting? Question mark.
I would message George probably first, like individually. His number's on the call sheet, or you can message him on Instagram.
I would also like to add that in general, there's a lot of things being stacked against you for time here. So not just for you, Vive, but for everyone on set, it is okay if you go over time. I have never been on a production that has not been perfectly on schedule. So like,
What
But
would
never
you
tell
say?
anyone that we're on time.
yeah. It is your job to always make people feel a little rushed, but appropriately rushed.
What would you say is like a good amount of like what would you say like when should we get worried? Like how much time has passed when I should be like, hey, oh, I should really like tell
Um,
people to.
when you hit your lunchtime and you're 2 hours over, that's a pretty that's a pretty big oof because that typically, not that I'm saying you guys are going to be 2 hours over by lunch. Like, definitely don't worry about that. But it is okay if you're like an hour past wrap. That happens on every single set, or it typically can happen. But in order to get, you know, I want my main goal, and I talked to Carter about this already. You need at least 8 hours of sleep between the next shoot day and at least an hour or two of just personal time.
Mhm.
So if you can keep to at least this first day, if you can keep to not going past 2:30 a.m. as your wrap time, then that'll be a good success. But day one is a little stacked against you because you are like arriving on that day, so you will have a little more stressful time getting set up and, getting the gears going. It'll take that first day to like really get that flow. But once you do, the next day should be just fine. But I just wanted to make sure you know that like don't get too stressed out if like you realize by shot 4 you've been late on every shot. That's okay. That will happen.
Yeah,
You
I
just
remember one of the projects I was on, we were supposed to, this was when I had to like step up and be like, all right, we need more onion station. We were supposed to shoot I think it was 4 scenes that night, and we only shot 1.5.
Exactly. I mean, and that's what I tell every filmmaker. It's just like it takes so much longer than you are expecting to shoot something. Like I just helped out with a student film 2 weeks ago, and we had, I think, 6 shots total that we had to get, and it took us probably 3 hours. And I'm like, yeah, dude, like you gotta be prepared for anything and everything. We had a lot of lighting issues that happened, so
All right, I'm
that's
gonna
caused
jump
it.
in real quick because we have like 2 minutes, 30 seconds left and just talk about art for a sec. Today I am practicing Lou and Zia, and we're gonna go over all that practical application time. So I don't want you to worry about art holding up production. And for sound, you can talk to Ellie about that, but he should have time to mic everybody up accordingly. So yeah, I don't want those two departments to be a time suck, and I think we're doing okay on that.
Awesome, thank you.
Emily, are you still looking for like folding chairs?
If you have them, I definitely bring them.
Okay, because I'm gonna go over to my parents' house on the 5th, because, it's the election day and I'm still registered to vote in Waukesha County, so we're gonna go over there. So, but I know they have chairs that are kind of like in like the realm you're looking for.
Okay, great. That would be awesome. All right,
Also,
anything else?
Zach, sorry, did see that you did text me. I wrote a reply text and I forgot to send it back, so I'm so sorry.
That don't worry about that. I do that all the time.
But yeah, thank you, Emily and Zach, for just like helping out. This has been really helpful.
Yeah, and if you have any more questions, feel free to just text me and I'll try to give a little more insight about ADing. It seems like a stressful job, but as long as you're just there for your crew and keeping everything just at a decent flow, it'll be just fine.
But yeah, since I already know most of the people on set, I feel like it's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a good time.
All right, well, thank you everyone for your time. We're gonna get booted off in less than a minute. So everyone have a great day, and let me know if you have any questions.
Thanks, Emily. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.